Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Appletree Ventures. My name is Nino Matthews and we are here in Australia, the land down under. So what we intend to do from this program is to promote the spirit of motorcycling. We want to take you guys on a ride to some of the most beautiful destinations here in Australia. And along the way, we would be reviewing the motorcycles we are riding, the roads we are taking, the places we are staying, and of course, the food we are eating. And I'm sure you guys would enjoy it same as me. So in this episode, we'll be riding to the outer western suburbs of New South Wales. We are heading to Jenolan Caves and we will be going on the famous Bells line of road. And along the way, we would be stopping at some beautiful spots just to explore the place and to see what this place has to offer. For the ride, I would be riding my Suzuki SV650 and my friend Finu, who is volunteered to come and help us out in this program. He will be riding something really special, something which is really close to our heart. And this motorcycle is going to be the highlight of this episode. For Finu being on his learner's license, we looked through a lot of motorcycles which are there in the market, and we had to come up with this particular motorcycle because it ticked all the boxes. So what are we waiting for? Let's go have a look at the bike. Now, you might ask, why a Royal Enfield? First of all, it's a learner's approved motorcycle. And second, this company has some serious heritage to it. Based out of Redditch at Worcestershire in UK, Royal Enfield used to be a company which used to manufacture guns. By around 1890s, for some reason, they decided to go ahead and manufacture motorcycles. And I should say, God bless them for that. They used to supply the Royal Army with motorbikes fitted with sidecars, and these sidecars used to either take machine guns or stretchers. Now that sounds like one badass motorcycle during those days. Now we all know that India used to be a British colony then. In 1955, the Redditch company partnered with Madras Motors in India, and since then it became Enfield India. By 1971, Royal Enfield UK was completely closed down. But this didn't stop the Indians from continuing the production of these motorcycles in India. Now this history made us close to this bike, and probably the best one for Finu to take out on his first adventure. Riding out of the city was a struggle. We could feel the impatience in people trying to get to their destinations. But as we exited the city limits and approached the heritage town of Richmond, we noticed the traffic congestion was minimal and the air felt much lighter and fresh. The view from our helmet visors changed from skyscrapers to windy mountain roads, and now that was a very good feeling. We started climbing towards Bilpin. With its volcanic soil and fresh air, Bilpin is home to some of the finest producers in Australia. Also known as the land of mountain apples, we decided to stop at the Bilpin Cider Cellar. Run by Sean and his family, this cellar is famous for its varieties of apple ciders and bush honey.
Alright, wait a second. You see this man with the beard? You might think he's the owner of the cellar. Well, he's not. This is Archibald Bell Jr. He and his two friends, Emery and Corky, were the people who explored the regions of Bilpin in the early 1800s and found the Bells line of road. If it wasn't for these three people, we motorcyclists would have missed out quite a bit. So thank you Archibald, Emery and Corky. We owe you a lot.
This place was stunning with all the ciders they had. I enjoyed trying every one of them and would have loved to buy them all. But motorcycles and luggage, they don't go very well. Reluctantly, I narrowed down my likes to the Bilpin Original Cider, which was my personal favorite.
Keeping track of time, we left the cellar to our next destination. We rode through Mount Tomah, which has the largest botanical gardens in New South Wales, and Mount Wilson, which is another man-made garden. Both are breathtaking places to visit with family for a picnic or staying for the night, as these places provide holiday accommodation. Our next stop was the Small Arms Museum at Lithgow. We thought this would be a good place to stop due to the sheer thrill of seeing all the guns and also the relation of Royal Enfield towards being a guns manufacturer when they started. Run by the local people of Lithgow, this historic museum had lots to say about the influence of the British heritage on Australia in the early 1900s. And also the social hardships they endured. This place is also about the introduction of new technologies into the emerging new nation, as Lithgow factory was Australia's first high-precision mass production facility. And you know what? We got the best guides we could get in there. Carrie and Brian, they took deep passion in taking us through the factory and explained the evolution of manufacturing technologies used in Australia in the early 1900s. We were really amazed with the collection of guns this museum had and how the gun industry evolved over time.
The contract was for the manufacture of 15,000 rifles per year. The opening in 1912 was totally coincidental. World War I started 2 years later. The factory was forced to expand over the period of the First World War. It went from the original 250 employees to almost 1,250. Instead of 15,000 rifles per year, by the end of the First World War they had made over 98,000 rifles. So when peace was declared in 1918, the factory had a big workforce, had a lot of machines, and hit the wall because the government cancelled all the firearms contracts, and the factory was left with a big workforce and a lot of expensive machines and not much to do with them. So they went commercial. They tendered for private industry contracts, railway rolling stock, golf clubs, handcuffs. They made a lot of shearing industry handpieces for shearers. It's not just a gun museum, it's a slice of Australian technical history. Yes. The factory, when it set up in 1912, was a pioneer of precision engineering in Australia. Mm-hmm. It has always been in the forefront of precision engineering, mm-hmm. and still is. Yes. And this museum tries to show some of that technical ability and the width of their products. The museum is going from strength to strength. This current calendar year is our best ever. Okay. We will have over 8,000 visitors. Yeah. We're in the process of negotiating with Tallis to buy the 1924 machine repair shop next door, which will give us another 15,000 square feet of industrial floor space. Yeah. We have in storage about 3 dozen of the original flat belt drive machines, which we're going to set up as a dummy factory. Yeah. But a lot of the artefacts that we currently have stored away because there's no room to display them will be able to be put on display. So we think the museum is here for the foreseeable future.
And we think the same as well. Nothing can be enjoyed unless it is created. If you were to be around the Blue Mountains next time, Don't forget to come and visit this iconic museum which portrays the humble beginnings of manufacturing in Australia. It was getting late now and we were losing daylight. We said our goodbyes to the museum and those wonderful people and set out to our final destination, Jenolan Caves.
Alright guys, we are at the moment somewhere in the Blue Mountains. The GPS told us we could take a quicker route to reach to Jenolan Caves, and we've taken a road which we don't know where it is, but looks really interesting. We don't have a paved road, it's a gravel road, as you can see, and we're gonna go on this till we hit the main road. Hopefully there's not much of this gravel road. Probably we'll hit the main road soon.
We rode for another 5 kilometers, and the more we traveled into this road, our chances of hitting Jenolan Caves before sunset was getting narrower. At this moment, we could just hope that we were getting closer to our destination and not any further.